Hello everyone and welcome, a very warm welcome indeed it is to Race Department's V8 series brought to you live on PSR TV. My name is Simon Smith and I'll be taking you through the qualifying session which has just got underway. Currently Gregory de Grief sitting in a prime pole position, but there's still 17 minutes of the session left and that is plenty of time to be dethroned. And this is watching on PSR TV of course. If you're listening to me, you're already there, so don't worry, sit tight, turn down the lights, grab some popcorn and pull yourself to your monitor screens. This one's going to be a biggie. Excited for this one. Make sure that you drop into the Race Department website as well, where you can talk in the chat box and watch the broadcast at the same time with a group of fun, friendly people. And we're here at the Wanneroo circuit, and as Ivo Simon said to me just a few minutes ago, Wanneroo is a place for a switcheroo, and that's exactly what I'm wanting to see. So, everyone's out on their qualifying laps. Very short circuit this one. It takes you just around 55 seconds, if you're very good, to get yourself round and across the line. Currently we have Gregory de Grief sitting in pole position and he's got pole by a whole 0.3 of a second. Practice was absolutely spectacular. The top 13 was separated by just a second and the whole top 20 was separated by just 1.8 seconds. So I'm looking forward to a real close battle throughout the field. Quite a difficult circuit this one. Lots of gradient, lots of niggly little turns that if you get just slightly wrong will upset you for the next one. And the final curve has got an awful curve. Sitting outside is Ben Crooks, takes pole position with a 54.879 as he just gets past Michael Hart-Jones doing a little spin turn ballerina. And he times a chopping and a changing as Yao Barbosa pops into third with Mike Simeon 4, Anu Carasola 5, then Ten Dyke in 6th, Ryan Cannon 7, James Johnson in 8th, and they're all separated by just half a second as Carasola jumps up into third. So, let's take a little look at the circuit. We'll pick someone to follow around. Second place man Gregory de Grief has just got to the start-finish line. We can jump in with him. First turn is a long sweeping hairpin right. Gregory Dunkins just steps out there. Then there's all kinds of little tiny curves. Reminds me very much of the old Brands Hatch circuit actually, with all the little uphill curves. You've got to try and get right, but each one rolls directly to the edge. You've really got to make sure you get each apex there right. Then braking turn for this. Once again, awkward cambered right hand and all kinds of gradients. It's almost like you're going down into a bowl. Down the back straight, down the roller coaster hill, and then brake for this final turn. And this turn is a nasty one because if you run right and get into that curve, you find yourself right facing the other way. Gregory de Grief crosses the line. It's going to take him into provisional pole position, which is still held by Ben Crooks. So, quick run down of the order, just 15 minutes to go. There's Brent Crooks on current pole position, just 4,000ths of a second behind. So, it's like a grand fireworks with them. And Carasola is currently sitting in third with Harold Barbosa just coming down here in position currently. Stay with him as he goes round the corner. He's looking suspiciously slow, so I think he's on the right. Outback into a comeback. Then Ten Dyke is in 5th with Mike Simeon 6th, Ryan Callan 7th, James Johnson 8th, Kevin Clark is 3rd, Mark A. Williamson is 10th. Just been 6/10 of the pole. 10th position, sorry. He's not where you think he would be, he's just 6/10 off. Gary Minari is 11th, Christopher Ralston 12th, Gary Lennon 13th and Adam Shaw 14th. Philip Antonio is 15th and he is exactly a second off the pace. Sylvain Rielod is in 16th, Ivo Simon 17th, Neil Galt is 18th, Dan Higgins 19th, Martin Bolgin is 20th. Then there's a gap back to Michael Hart-Jones who is yet to complete a full flying lap, and Guido Rosen is yet to complete lap at all. So he's got to get his skates on because there's 13 minutes remaining. This round, sorry, is going to be 42 laps long. Damage is set quite high, so make sure you don't wear each other off, gentlemen. And although pit stops aren't mandatory here, as Gregory DeGreef retakes pole position with a 54.742. Fantastic effort by Gregory. See the front of the divisions, classes, like it wants to try and dominate this one. Let's see what Ben Crooks can do to try and retake you back again. As he comes around the final corner. As Mike Simeon just rises up into 7th, and James Johnson pops into 5th. Just third for the second place. But as I was saying, 42 laps of this track. Although pit stops aren't mandatory, tyre wear is going to be a severe issue around here because they're all overheating their tyres, these drivers. I was talking to quite a few earlier in the practice sessions, and they was really struggling to see their car and their tyres through this whole 42 laps. As Ben Crooks goes off into the gravel, and that's just purely out braking himself into that corner, and he gives up, returns to the pits, and he shall go for another day. Let's see who else is on the track. Henrik Carasola currently sitting 3rd overall. Just going up the hill before he goes down the roller coaster slide and across the line to start another run. Tyres are going to be an issue, so that is going to be highly strategic. Do you try and hang on for dear life, or do you actually go hell for leather and see what will happen to your tyre sets if you go for a pit stop? Of course, it's a very short lap round here, so making a pit stop is going to throw you completely down the order as well. So you're really going to have to think on your feet tactically with this one. Carasola gave up after that lap, which is not moving any closer to the provisional pole position. Ben Rutenzak is actually the highest man out on track at the moment. He's in 4th position, 55.075. Let's see what he's up to. 4th position. As he feels as though he will fly up into his now as he goes down that hill into the final corner, and that hill really does make that corner very, very tough to master. But he's back to the right side of the curve. That's lap 10. He's on the way for another one round. Exactly halfway in the qualifying session now, just 10 remaining. So I'm going to have to get the little old digits out. Currently, the top 20 drivers are all separated by 2 seconds. That is absolutely stunning, because that means we're going to be in for a fine evening of racing. Traffic definitely be an issue. I just see James Johnson held up by Dan Higgins. Not particularly anyone's fault, it's just that if you're catching the driver while we're coming around to finish up your lap, it's just unfortunate that's very much happen. 54-second track, 55-second track, you're going to bounce into traffic. There's 22 of you last round. Last of the 22 currently is Michael Hart-Jones, the only man to get yet to get underneath the 1 minute time. I'm sure it's just because he's himself under the 1 minute bracket. So it starts his fine lap. This is out and about. Simon can sniff out anybody. Crooks is back out on a fine lap again. He's now the same as James Johnson, moves up into 4th position. 55.050. Time is really falling thick and fast here. This driver's putting their bank on laps and then go for another flyer after. Ben Crooks not quite getting near the old timer. In fact, that old time would have only put him 7th currently on the grid if that was his fastest. That just shows how close these drivers are today. Goes round for another go. So, while it's relatively quiet, I'll just jump through the standings, of course, for the league itself. Mike Simeon is actually our top man. He's currently sitting in 7th position at the moment, just under half a second off the pole time. So he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to keep maintaining his lead. James Johnson second with 46 points. Mike Simeon has 53, by the way. Henning Carasola ranked third with 40. Ben Tendike with 36 and 4th. Gregory de Grief is in 35 and 5th. He's on pole sitter, of course, provisionally. Brian Callan 6th with 30 points. And then Gary Linnen leads off the rest. Tony Talavite is not actually with us this weekend. He's currently 8th. Ivor Simons is 9th. He's towards the back end of this field actually at the moment, with Sullivan Rearlord rounding up top. Just coming up to 6.5 minutes left, so plenty of time for plenty of people to move about. But I think really everyone is almost hitting their limits already. Currently everyone down to Ivor Simons in 14th position within a second of the pole lap. So that is a mouth-watering prospect for everyone. It also means potentially there's not going to be much traffic if everyone's going to be in one massive snake of a battle. So that's looking quite good, as Kevin Clark in 11th position just completely missed his stakes 3 and 4, hooked the curb and spun it off. He's just parked it and going to go for another go. This is out on track at the moment. With a little switchy wheel through. Gregory de Grief is out, seeing whether he can actually improve on his pole time. Nearly done so as well, just within a tenth of a second last time round. So Gregory de Grief showing that not only has he got pace, he's got consistency this weekend. Who's taking the fight to him? Ben Crooks currently laying in second, just a tenth off the pace, but he doesn't look like he's going out. If he will do, it'll be a last-ditch effort. Top part Ferme, of course. This is purely pace-setting running only. This is out and about. Bernard is on quite a decent lap in 12th position at the moment as he comes down the hill. Just a video van extraordinaire. That's exactly what he's doing with Sammy Vegas. Let's see if he knows what he's doing with the car. He's one of the very few men to have done just a couple of laps. And he comes around to start it. Ooh, that's what I mean about traffic. And Brooks having to take evasive action to make sure that he doesn't get in the way. Bernard did not improve on that time. He left it out by a tenth. So just the smallest little errors really costing everyone. Minari and Rosen are the only people that have not done more than 10 flying laps around the track. There's someone gets a tank slapper coming out of that. That was just and doing it again there, 15th position, should be a little bit too much. Managed to have his rear end put back into control. I think everyone has probably got about 1 or 2 last minute laps, just 3 minutes and 35 seconds left to go on the clock. Of course, you can start your flying lap once, after the flag drops, so long as you've already passed the start-finish line. I'd imagine most people now are pretty much settled in their positions. I've not seen many pace changes for a while. It looks like there's 21 drivers potentially who, if there's a lot of carnage going on, really cause an upset. Go for it. The only driver that's slightly off the back of everyone else's pace currently is Michael Hart James, but he will still play an injury role. That's when they're coming around to that. As you can see, this course is very narrow, so the ability to negotiate back markers and people who are pitted as well is going to be real key. As I say, is managing your tyres and making sure you just stay on the black stuff. That's generally a bit of good advice. To remind everyone, you're currently watching the Race Department's V8 series. We are here at Barbagallo, or Wanneroo, whichever you want to call it. I've got a clue which one it's actually really called. But it is a rather fantastic circuit, very tiny but very technical. And it looks like one that's going to provide a very close field of action. Remember to drop into the forums and have a good old chinwag with everyone. I'm sure that they'll be cheering on their favourite drivers, won't you guys? And if you don't have a snack, you've got about 1.5 minutes to go and get one before the race starts. But Gregory de Grief and Ben Crooks are both out. Ben Crooks has completely gone wrong down the back straight in second position, facing the wrong way. Oh, Ryan Cannon smacks into the side of him there. I don't know quite what happened. Very bizarre accident there for second and 8th position. Callan straight back into the pits. Ben Crooks kind of staying there. Very bizarre indeed. Let me just take a little look at a replay of that. It's a massive slide. He's come out at the very top of the hill, just kept sliding round. The slide just never corrects itself. He then hits an errant cone and just seems to spin round. It almost like some kind of force feed lock-up or something. Ryan Callan looks like he's having much the same problem. He's still trying to correct himself. He doesn't pull away until the last moment, just gently taps the side of Ben Crooks' car and flies off into the wall. However, that just leaves us with 30 seconds left to go. Ben Crooks does not have time to get himself out to a lap, so that leaves him at the peril of Hannu Carasola, who's quietly gone round and shot little hundredths off his time as someone jumps up the order. I think that was Mark A. Warnington has jumped up into 9th and Gary Lennon has jumped up into 10th with last minute gasps, so well done to them, able to pull it out when it counts. And Gregory de Grief is still going around trying to circulate and keep his pole position. He's got Mike Simeon right in his way, so that's going to be problems. So the checkered flag has dropped. They both dive off into the pits. De Grief obviously thinks he's got it covered. Does Hannu Carasola have anything to do with third position? He's going to complete his lap all on the curve, over the final corner, over the line. And it's an improvement, but it's not quite enough. Just a quarter of a second off the pace. Third position for him. Is anyone else still doing a lap? Barbagallo in 6th position, still going round. As is Gary Lennon, it looks like he's going for another go. But Barbosa in 6th, just coming around the final corner. And a little bit too much snap oversteer. Gary Lennon jumps up into 9th position. Barbosa does not improve. Ivo Simons, does he improve? No, he doesn't. He stays 14th. And I think, who's that across the line? Is that Ryan Callan? And in a last ditch effort, but that was a messy end to his lap at the final corner. And I think that is everyone done. So, Gregory de Grief takes pole position for round 2 of the Race Department V8 session. Everyone take a breather. Ben Crooks will start alongside, just 0.137 seconds off the pace. Hannu Carasola lines up row 2 with Ben Gutendijk in 4th. James Johnson is 5th with Harold Barbosa in 6th. Mike Simeon 7 and Ryan Callan 8th. Gary Lennon will be 9. Mark Warmington rounds out the top 10. Then behind that, Gary Vinari and Kevin Clark, Christopher Larson and Ivo Simons, Adam Shaw, Philip Antonia, Neil Galt, Sylvian Milord, Dan Higgins and Guido Rosen, with Martin Bolgin still within 2 seconds of pole in 20th position. Very unfortunate indeed. 21st position indeed, because Ryan Callan has just disappeared with the server for a second, so we better get cracking quick. Michael Hart-Jones was a further 3 seconds back in the low last position. However, it's all where you are when you actually cross the finish line that counts, as we've moved to the warm-up mode where everyone can test out their fuel strategies and make sure that they can get themselves readjusted to having a fat heifer of a car. So, this V8 series will, after this race, go to Surfers Paradise on the 24th of February, so that's next week. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. That'll be 23 laps of mayhem. And Surfers Paradise is a hellhole of a street circuit to get round. I personally very much enjoy the track, but it is definitely a driver challenge. After that, you go off to Orion Park, which is another quite unique circuit. Then it's the Kiko Park, which I just had some racing experience at with the BMW 1 Series cars, and that's a great circuit for attacking and switcheroos, so it gets 2 thumbs up from me. Then after that we're off to Phillip Island, 34 laps around that one. That's on the 31st of March, and the series culminates in Bathurst, the track everyone loves to go round, and that will be on the 14th of April. And that is the Mahusiv distance one as well, 205 kilometres, so that will definitely be the equivalent of a V8 endurance race. I'm sure you'll be able to catch all that action live on PSR TV. But who will be in there for the crown by the end of it, I wonder? Answers on a postcard. I just don't have any Blue Peter badges. So, we're into warm-up mode. It's a quick 10-minute shuffle around. Okay, just to inform everyone that we do have a slight technical difficulty this evening with our TV overlays, so you're just going to have to rely on me babbling on. So sorry for that, but tough. No. Let's have a little nosy pose at what's out and about on the track. Currently in warm-up, Pierre Benari is top of time sheet, not for now though, as Mike Simeon tops it off, and that's on a not a 1:55, goodness me, just a 0:55.695, so you can see that the actual racing times with full loads of fuel is about a second difference. Okay, and then the first person to get into the 55s is Gregory Degree. Apologies for the little quietness there while I attempt to shout louder into my microphone so that everyone can hear all the rubbish that I'm talking. Mike Simeon is still second. Ben Crooks has popped into third with Kevin Clark fourth. So that's a much better performance there by Kevin Clark as opposed to actual qualifying. Yari Benari currently 5th, Barbosa 6th, Antonio Larson, Simmons and Galt are the top 10 at the moment. Don't worry, you're not missing any race action at all. This is just purely warm up, but we thought we'd give you bonus footage, a bit like a DVD, but without the dodgy memories and the piracy is bad at the beginning. So yeah, consider yourselves blessed and loved. Just to tell everyone that there will be switcheroo of the race award given out, and teams and drivers are most welcome to bring themselves into the commentary booth after the race for a good old chinwag in celebration, providing they've won. Or commiserations if they've gone and binned it in the wall. It's generally not the idea, but there we go. And we've got just about 2 minutes left until go. As Gregory Degree pops into the pits. Fantastic little mod this, I fully recommend. Everyone goes and tries it. Has great enjoyment out of it. Of course, it's the only action you'll get on PSR TV for Race Department. We have quite a few little things coming up actually in the near future, mainly involving the Formula Pro World Series Championship actually, which will be coming to your screens next Saturday, and we'll be at Abu Dhabi for that one. So, enjoy that. And I think I'll be there, so you can all suffer me again anyway. So, quite interestingly, Gary Lennon and Ryan Callan have not actually gone out in the warm-up at all. As I say that, Gary Lennon just enters onto the track for a quick installation lap, or corner, because he's just gone and spun off in 20th position. So, oops. For Gary, I don't know if that's particularly wise to just not go out. But whatever floats your boat. And now the warm-up comes to an end. It is time to wish everyone the very best of luck and let the battles commence. Or something like that. So, remember, Gregory Degree and Ben Crooks line up on your front row, and they are the two on top in the warm-up. So, that bodes well for an absolute corker of a race. And less than a tenth separating them there, so even closer in warm-up than what they were in qualifying.
Attention, all non-essential personnel, leave the grid now.
The famous words from the R-Factor man. I wonder if he knows just how famous and televised that man is. 42 laps. And the cars are just going to the grid now. It will be a standing start. So let's make sure that no one stalls it. Completely buggers themselves up before they've even got across the start line. Gregory DeGrief will lead us on our way. We are, is that racing? I'm not sure. I thought there was a formation lap. Obviously not. La la la. Gregory DeGrief and Ben Crooks there, side by side. DeGrief just about takes it over the curve, and off and away he certainly does go. And everyone safely round turns 1 and 2 there. My apologies for my tardy rubbishness. Gregory DeGrief leads Ben Crooks. Butenzik having a snifty little nose there. James Johnson to 4. Carisola's lost out down to 5th. Barbosa 6th. Simeon and Callan are 7 and 8 with Gary Lennon leading the rest through. Everyone quite safely through with the leading corners there. Martin Belgian dropped to last position and seen by us. But Gregory DeGrief just about holding it out of the first turn. No one get hooked on that curve and make a balls titty of it at the beginning. Someone going the wrong side of the curve there, and I think that may well have been Clark actually, but everyone's still stationed sane down into turn 1. No overtaking going on down there, so everyone taking it nice and carefully, just ensuring that they are not ruined on lap 1 of the race. Lap 2 of 42, Gregory DeGrief currently Ben Crooks, Carisola is in 5. There's already a small gap back to Barbosa in 6. These are the leading 5 that are taking off and away. Gregory DeGrief has already got 7 tenths of a second advantage over Crooks, and I'm sure that the car is off. It's off the track. He was battling there with his teammate actually, I think, and has dropped right the way down to the very back of the field. Has just rejoined in 21st position. That has not gone well for Kevin Clark at all, and he'll have to make himself back up the field from there. As lap 3 begins, and Gregory DeGrief is now leading by a whole second from Ben Crooks. Butenzik is now holding up James Johnson and Carisola. They're starting to back each other up. And I think Butenzik is going to end up under attack from James Johnson shortly, as he runs slightly wide around this uphill section of corners. If you get the first one, you're going to lose time all the way up that snake, because it's uphill and you need the power to get there. And James Johnson looking rather nifty in that slipstream as they go round the pit corner, as I like to call it. Johnson there in prime position to have a little nose down to slurp up the street. Is he going to have a little nose? No, he's thinking better of it actually, but that is very much a lot of curve there. Pulling out to have nose into turn 1, and is that small contact there? I think not. Johnson definitely trying to hold his feet inside like Butenzik covers in the right places. Just about holds on, but Butenzik looks like a zipped duck there, about to be swallowed up. No further changes up down the field as I can see at the moment, but Butenzik there is definitely under attack by James Johnson. Harron and Carisola sitting there further back in 5th. DeGrief has pulled out another 10th of a second over Ben Crooks for 1st and 2nd, and here comes James Johnson up the deep down the home straight. If he can get into the slipstream down this hill, he's decided not to have a nose. Butenzik going to need to go a bit defensive into that final corner, but James Johnson all over the curve, and that is going to unsettle him down that home straight. Ryan Callan running very wide out of that final corner too. Johnson choosing not to have a look, but was practically humping the rear end of Butenzik's car there. If that was any couple of animals, I'd have said that was mating season. They're just about keeping it together, keeping it clean. Everyone else is still filing through quite nicely indeed. Philip Antonio has just overtaken Guido Rossen in the 15th and 16th position, and Kevin Clark has just overtaken Sylvia Mearlord, who has gone off the track and dropped down to 21st position. However, back up front, Butenzik looks like he's got a small gap over James Johnson at the moment. He's still in that sort of thing, drop away from Ben Crooks, who's 2 tenths of a second on the Gregory DeGrief. They currently lead to Benker second, Tendike third, Johnson 4, Carasola 5, Barbosa 6. He's under attack by Mike Simeon. And James Johnson looks like he's going to have a nose into turn 1. He's up alongside, and that is going to be a crafty move if he does it. Tendike's having nothing of it. He will not be frightened off that racing line, but James Johnson desperately clinging on round the outside. Having to fill in just behind, but as Carasola gets a little bit of a wiggle off. But Barbosa also held off Simeon as well. It's all kicking off here at Race Departments. Round 2 at Wanneroo. I want switcheroos. None of this. Let's have a little bolt round. I want overtaking done. It's Mike Simeon almost scaring Barbosa off the road at 67. We've got to have eyes going in different directions. It helps to be cross-eyed today. There's coming on to start lap 6 of the race. Tendike there gets completely wrong out of the final corner. James Johnson is right alongside, and they are going to be just about going, and that's a little bit of a nudge there. Tendike tries to take the line. Johnson's already there. A little bit of love nudging going on, but Johnson has the position, just about covers the line from Tendike. Carasola getting way into the pits as well. I think we might fancy a little nose free while these two try to get that through. Tendike straight into the rear bumper of Johnson. He's done just qualifying, and that is like a little slide down the straight. Carasola looking like he wants a little piece of that action, and he's in prime position as once again fantastic slipstream opportunity right up into it. He's going to take a look. Carazola's thinking a bit. He's pulled back inside again. That corner is a little bit too much at the straight angle to really have a proper go. But Carasola once again having a little look, just sizing up Tendike, but they are now being joined by Jorge Barbosa, dragging Ryan Allen along with them. There's a gap back to Gary Binardi's moved up to 10th, I'm seeing by me. Christopher Larson is 11th. Adam Shaw is 12, and he's got Mark Warmington all over the back of him. Neil Gold and Philip Antonio are side by side, 13th and 15th, so that's another great battle. It's all going off up and down the field here. So apologies if we're not showing you all the fantastic action from everyone, but Ben Tendike is losing time left, right and centre. James Johnson and Carasola is once again fit for attack down the back straight. Once again, pulling out and having a little look into the final corner, thinking better of it. James Johnson taking an alternative line out the final corner, as it's Ryan Callan once again. And here comes Carasola. He's fancying the nose for into turn 1. Yes, he is. He's doing the last of the late breakers. Tendike desperately clinging on around the outside, just about holds it. A little wiggle to say, you ain't coming through, my son. Carasola has to think about it again. Adam Shaw has just been overtaken, I think, by Mark Warmington for 12th and 13th into the final turn. That was, and if we look back to 13th place, Adam Shaw, he's got, because he bounces over the curve quite dramatically. Neil Gold and Philip Antonio and Guido Rossi all right behind, so that is another good train going on. I'm going to keep jumping back and forward between the pair of them, just because there are two fantastic battles going on, and they're spoilt for choice. There's James Johnson is coming up to lap Michael Hart-Jones. And can Michael Hart-Jones there, is he going to get out of the way for everyone? It looks like he is. He's well fast in the art of back marking, but no, he's going to get very much in the... Barbosa and Simeon, they're desperately trying to go around the outside of Michael Hart-Jones. Hart-Jones there completely on from the racing line, desperately making it tricky for Simeon to try and get round. And we were saying that back markers on this kind of very tight track are going to get into the way kind of wherever they are. Holds up Ryan Callan quite dramatically there, but I don't think there's anything you can do when you're in those sharp corners. The Shaw, Gold, Antonio and Rossi battle is still raging on, but no one's changed positions there. But lap 9, starting lap 10 soon, will be our leader Gregory de Grief, who's waltzed off into the distance somewhat. As Carasola has what's probably his most heartiest look into that final corner yet, and that might compromise him down a home straight for a look into turn 1. 3 attempts back, so there's no real chance for him to look this time round. But Betenzike, they're really showing off his prowess as a defensive driver, and Carasola, try as he may, is really desperately, struggling to get round. Betenzike specifically quite wide round that corner. Carasola's got much more grip, it seems. Betenzike almost feeling the pressure as Kevin Clark has left the game. Oh, that's a massive accident for Kevin Clark. We saw him go off earlier, and it wasn't his fault. There was a massive accident between Dan Higgins and Martin Bolgin, 19th and 20th positions. Kevin Clark comes up the hill, nowhere to go, smashes into Dan Higgins and Martin Bolgin. Those two limping round to 19th and 20th. Their car's looking very much worse for wear. Michael Hart-James smells an overtake coming up soon as Betenzike desperately depends from Carasola again. 4-5, these two battle royal. Barbosa also the same with Mike Simeon. Great display of defensive and aggressive driving all at the same time. Carasola definitely has a legs on Betenzike, just cannot find a way past. So going through the debris that's been left by that massive incident between Bolgin, Higgins and Clark, and lots of drama going on. Unseen bias as well. Wilmington has dropped back into 13th position. Adam Shaw has overtaken him in 12th, and now Wilmington's got Galton 14th. Close up place has got Guido Rosen having a right good look down there. Rosen's overtaken Antonia. Something has gone on in that battle, and there we are side by side with Antonia and Guido Rosen from 15th and 16th position. Antonia goes for the inside line. Is he going to have a go at Neil Gold as well as the final turn? That is going to be an absolute classic move if he tries it. Gold holds on. Antonia covers the line for Rosen. Rosen is almost into pit lane by the look of that, and Ivo Simmons watches on, and Antonia goes for another look into turn one. Ooh, taking evasive action onto the grass there, and almost like a clash of sumo wrestlers, as I'm sure very, very aggressive over some of those curves, I must say, but it's in top position at the moment, it's still very, very strong. Back up to the battle before the fifth Betenzike and Carasola at it hammer and tongs again. They are now pegging James Johnson at their times. They're not letting him get away in third position. The top two of Gregory DeGrief and Ben Crooks are still just 1.5 seconds separating each other, as Carasola again has another look into turn one. Oh, little nudge. I think Carasola might be finding himself getting a little bit frustrated. He's not able to get past Betenzike. Betenzike doing everything that is possible to get past, to stay in. There's Michael Hart-Jones there having to go off the track to let the Galt, Antonia and Rosen battle through. Carasola there, unseen by me, got past Betenzike, and really having to get going there. So just raise my microphone. Apologies for everybody. Don't you just love technical problems? Hopefully that will be a little bit better for everyone. Carasola now into fourth position. I didn't see the move. I'm playing Mr. Replay to see exactly what happened, because you probably saw it better than I. And that was Betenzike all by himself there, going wide. A little bit of lag, and that was Betenzike's own mistake. Carasola has a position and immediately has a small little gap, and Betenzike now under attack by Harold Barbosa and Mike Simeon. And Simeon, they're having a little nose down the inside, and they're very slowly getting up by Ryan Callan, who's 12 seconds back. Gary Lennon is 9, Gary Benari is 10, Christopher Larson is all on his own in 11, having a lonely little race. Adam Shaw is 12, Mark Wilmington 13. Neil Gold 14 is just about holding off Philip Antoni and Vido Rosen in 15th and 16th position. Ivo Simons is in that battle as well in 17th. That is a fantastic little quartet, really bitch slapping each other in every corner, if I dare say so. Silver Van Meerlord is the last unlapped runners in 18th position. One lap down is Dan Higgins and Martin Bojan. After their massive smash up, Michael Hart-Jones 2 laps down but still going strong in 21st. But Gregory DeGrief and Ben Crooks there in a class of their own up front. Just lap after lap, complete and utter consistency and precision perfect driving by the pair of them. I hope you're able to now hear me now, everybody. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know. But Jorge Barbosa is severely under attack again from Mike Simeon. They've dropped back from the 10 time a little bit because they've been having their own little scrapperoo as they come down the roller coaster ride of the hill into the final corner. Jorge Barbosa there, just a bit more sliding. Pressure lap after lap, and Barbosa able to soak it up. He's once again improving another driver, quite capable, defending particularly well. Gary Minardi as well in the battle over 9th and 10th. That should be a little bit of a ding dong first happening anytime soon. And something's happened to Rosen and Antonia. They've dropped behind Ivo Simons. And are now battling over 16th and 17th position as Mike Simeon dives past Jorge Barbosa down into the pit corner, as I call it, and Barbosa straight back on the offensive into the slipstream. Simeon there taking an opportunistic manoeuvre. Barbosa wasn't quite so close. Simeon goes defensive, he weaves once, he weaves twice. That's a little bit naughty there, a bit of monkey business there from Mike Simeon, and he'll be maybe talked a little bit naughty as Michael Hart-Jones into the pit. Barbosa looking once again into turn 1, but he's not got nearly close enough to have a go. He needs to have been at it since the start, on lap 18 of 42. So magical action up and down the field. Rosen and Antonio are still going at it over 16th and 17th. I'll keep my eye on those for you. However, Simeon there has pulled away slightly from Barbosa. It's almost like Barbosa is losing it in the uphill section. Ryan Callan keeps on watching brief in 8. Lennon and Binari are now battling over 9th and 10th, although they're not quite as close as the Simeon-Barbosa scrap. So I wonder if Mike Simeon now will reel in Ben Potenzike. Daniel Carasola hasn't exactly gotten away from Potenzike, and James Johnson is just sitting 1.4 seconds further up the road, so that is definitely all to play for. As Ben Crooks is now just half a second behind race leader Gregory DeGrief. They have had to just negotiate traffic with Martin Bojan, who's just gone 2 laps down in his battered and bruised V8 car. But DeGrief and Crooks, they're the closest they've been since the get-go-go though. And that is going to be very interesting indeed. Exactly what is going on. There's Crooks there. Crooks very wrong out of that final turn. That curve, I'm waiting for someone to do that curve extraordinarily wrong. Either end up down the pit lane or mowing the grass. It's Johnson, Carasola, Tenzak, Simeon, Bosa and Callan across the line. Gary Lennon taking an alternative line out of that final corner as well. And that has allowed Gary Binari right onto the back of him for 9th and 10th. Binari having a little bit of a snifferoo down into turn 1. Thinking better of it. Just switch back to the leaders because Michael Hart-Jones has just gone off in front of them. And I think it's wisely if we get back on track. That's good. Backline skills there by Hart-Jones. Who else is in the battle? There's so many. It's like a box of chocolates. You don't know which battle you're going to get. have we got going on? Adam Shaw and Mark Wilmington in 12th and 13th. They're having a good old scrap. Mark Wilmington just about getting into the slipstream, and is much more committed on the brakes into that corner, but he's just not close enough coming out of the hill. He's much later on the brakes, but Shaw's a little bit quicker on the acceleration, and Wilmington desperately trying to get into the slipstream. And he should find someone that's on a street corner that might give him money to pay his consumption. Gets him right up into the back of Shaw, and it's closest to him all race so far. Taking a look. It's about the 12 and 13 wages. These two swapped positions a couple of times already this race. Gold on the side, similar to back over 14 and 15. Antonio and Rosen are still back over 16 and 17. There's Mike Simeon there getting double overtaking problems. Hart Jones and Bolgen. There's nowhere for all of them to go because this track is so narrow, but just about weaved through, and that's allowed Barbosa to get right on the track. Mike Simeon very wide into turn 1. Barbosa tries to have a nose through, but Simeon closes the line, the door on him. He can close the line as well if he wants, but he's kept the position of 6. Another Danny just about coming up to, or just past half distance, we're about 22 and 42. Let me just take you through a quick run of the order. Gregory de Grief currently the lead. Ben Crooks very much contact with him, just 8 tenths of a second separate the pair. That is an absolute battle royal. We've not seen much of it because they have been so much fun. And that's Neil Gold off the track down at turn 1. Someone else going slow, that looks like Rosen as well. I wonder if there's been some kind of collision contact. And just looking, on the replay, I've just seen Neil Gold tried an overtaking move on Ivo Simons, completely did it wrong, smacked into the side of it, and went off the track. And Rido Rosen just lost it all by himself. I think he was trying to avoid Neil Gold, who was slightly on the track. Both are back in the way again in 17th and 18th positions. That's not what either of them wanted at all. But to continue my rundown of the order, as Debris has pulled out there on Crooks as they put a lap on Mearlord. James Johnson is in 3rd, 8 seconds off the pace. Carasola is 4th, 10 seconds down. Gatendijk 5th, 12 down. Mike Simeon and Barbosa 6 and 7, they're 14 down. Callum is 8, 17 down. Gary Lennon is 9th, with Gary Benari in 10th, they're 21 seconds down. Larson is 11th, Adam Shaw is 12th, Wilmington 13th, Simon's 14th. Antonio is the last of the unmatched runners at 15th. 1 lap down is Mearlord, Rosen, Goltz and Higgins. 2 laps down, Martin Bolgen. 4 laps down, Michael Hart-Jones. And those are your runners. Just one retirement so far, and that is Kevin Clark with a suspension failure from a massive accident. Let's pause for breath and see exactly what's going on the circuit. And, Mike Simeon has pulled out a bit of a gap there over Barbosa. If anything, James Johnson is losing time to Henry Carasola. The gap is just under 1.4 seconds. The two teammates there really lapping very quickly and very consistently the same lap times to each other. Gatendijk is falling away. Carasola now, as is Crooks away from de Grief up front. Simeon pulling away from Barbosa. Callum has been dropped by Barbosa. Gary Lennon and Gary Benari are still very much at it, although that's the furthest that they've been so far. I saw Benari make a half attempt, and that is why he's dropped back, but he'll soon catch up and have another go at Gary Lennon. Lennon driving superb defensive manoeuvres. Larson has been on his own all race, bless him. Someone send him a goodie bag. Adam Shaw and Mark Wilmington, probably the closest battle we've got on the track at the moment, and that's the battle over 12th and 13th, as Wilmington trying to almost to put Adam Shaw there as they come up the hill. As that kind of overtaking move is not particularly going to work. Adam Shaw feeling to go very defensive on the inside close enough this time by to have a go. But Adam Shaw really getting the swapper on as that's Vito Rosen there just joining the track ahead of them. That's pushed Warmington onto the grass, and that's dropped him a bundle of time over Adam Shaw. And if people are going to be pit stopping, Rosen obviously feeling the need to do so. He must be going through his tyres at the rate of knots. He must need to get close enough again, because if Shaw pits before he does, if indeed they do pit at all, they will definitely be needing, as Philip Antonio in 16th position goes very wide onto the grass as he gets lapped by Degree, but it's going to start turning into almost a tyre management race, this one now, as we start to enter the latter third of the race. We're about 27 to 42. Quick action here, only 55, 56 second lap, of course, and Evo Simon's definitely about to be lapped by Gregory de Grief. He gets out of the way quite nicely down into turn 1. Ben Crooks has now dropped to 2.6 seconds, and that is the furthest that he has been behind Gregory de Grief all race. So Crooks there very sliding coming up turn 1. I wonder if he's overlooked his nose already and now has to kind of slide off to defend. Or almost settle for second in a way. I'm sure he's not thinking that mentally, but his tyres look like they are shot to bits at the minute, and he needs to conserve himself to make sure that he can stay on the black stuff, which is what really counts. He's got an 8-second gap over James Johnson, so he can afford to almost slide off a little bit. He's got 2.4 seconds and 2 cars of traffic between himself and the group. He's still back in 10th, and he's still having a good old ding dong. But Adam Shaw and Mark Warmington are at it again in 12th and 13th, and Warmington seeming the need to try and put off Adam Shaw coming up the hill, and it's almost disadvantaging himself in places where he can really overtake. Either that, or he's got tyre issues himself, and is finding it hard to actually get round those quick left-right kicks. So they slide out of the pit corner and down the hill towards the final turn, and Warmington not close enough this time by to have a go at Adam Shaw. Adam Shaw there not quite getting that corner right. He was sliding under braking, and that's only a way to lose time, as Rosen almost goes down pit lane. Warmington is sizing himself up for another look. He does look a little bit more poised under the car. And apart from that, Evo Simons and Philip Antonio are the other close battle out on track, as they're busy getting Ben Crooks past. Actually, those two battles on track. Warmington there slides past Adam Shaw, and Adam Shaw off into the barriers there in a 13th position. Just take a look at that again, all by himself, too wide out of that final corner, 2 wheels just touching the grass, off he goes. Warmington nearly takes him out, trying to avoid him. Jinx to the left, and good save there by Adam Shaw, back in 13th position, just ahead of Simons and Antonio, who are the best battle now on track, both 14th and 15th. But that is a position definitely lost. As we watch Simons and Antonio, these two have been battling. Antonio's been ahead of Simons most of the race. There's Petendijk. What's going on with him? He's down in 6th position. He's just lost out. That must have been a mistake there by Ben Petendijk in 6th position. Simeon has just got ahead. No, Simeon just a plain overtaking to the final turn there, into the slipstream, round and through. We've not seen many overtakes into the final turn, but Petendijk there being called out by Mike Simeon. Simeon obviously not wanting any monkey business with that overtake. Ben Petendijk, aka the man who shall not be named, who is now thoroughly named. Climbs himself in 6th position. He's got a good 2-second gap back to Barbosa who appears to have slipped back slightly from this duo. The field slowly spreading out. There's Ben Crooks off the track, down the final turn into across the line. He's in second position. He's got back on track just ahead of James Johnson, and that was pure driver error by the looks of it. Onto the curb, bringing out the final turn, he just flew off onto the grass. Did he hit the wall? I think he might have done. Absolutely maddening stuff. And that car is obviously, and the driver's confident as well. It's in the way that James Johnson would sniff second position as he dives inside the will slip straight back up the inside down the back straight. Next lap one up, get back again, find yourself in the right position down to turn one again. Brooks is going to take this one maybe a little bit more gently because it's very dangerous they pass that by. Johnson right up into the rear, but choosing not to go for it that time by. He's sizing up his opponent, I think. And yeah, look at Crooks back end stepping out there in turn one. Johnson and Carasola both have much more grounded cars. Ben Crooks there may have just overcooked his tyre. I said that earlier that he was dropping back slightly, maybe under pressure from it all. But now going to have to look offensive and defensive with his teammate Carasola is had to look those. Johnson went wide again. Carasola is going to be thinking, I fancy a bit of that. As someone is just strange. I think those Barbagallo is in that 10th position. He's gone off the road somewhere, and or has he? No, it's a little bit of naughty lag going on. My apologies. But Crooks, Johnson, Carasola, second, third, fourth in a train. Simeon and Potentike are too far back. Barbagallo is 7, Alec 8. Gary Lennon and Gary Minari active like Hammer and Tongs at 9 and 10 still. They are your drivers along with Christopher Larson and Mark Wilkinson, which is about to be lapped. Brooks looks like he's regrouping because Johnson now seems to be more worried about Carasola. He's about Brooks. They've got Philip Antonio and Simons up here. Those two are battling like cat and dog all race. Still the 21 drivers remaining on lap 35 of 42. The race department's V8 Series round 2 at Wanneroo. Agree to grief now leading by 11 seconds. Provided he doesn't bin it, this race is for him to take. But it's also for him to live, and that's James Johnson, completely wrong state of things, and he's got some kind of connection issue or something because there is some severe lagging going on for him, and that is going to really put off Carasola. And let's hope Johnson doesn't end up getting disconnected or something, because that is if my IQ was that big, my goodness, I'd be Einstein. It seems to be recovering back now a little bit, but Brooks and the Daisy. As they're on track, Minari's still battling with Lennon, but they have not swapped positions. As they start lap 36, Brooke, Johnson and Carasola. Phil Simons. Next up ahead is Adam Shaw. So there's plenty of chances for something to go severely wrong. If you take that overtake just a little bit too risky, you'd end up either mounting the car or just taking yourself off. As Johnson dives down the inside of Sima. Ooh, a little bit of leanage going on. Safely through nonetheless. To grief already on lap 37 of 42, just 5 to go for him, including the one he is on. He is absolutely waltzing away, lights the flag currently at the moment. Brooks actually took out a couple of hundredths that lap. Johnson is third, Carasola is in fourth, and having trouble popping a lap on Evo Simons there, who now graciously gets out of the way. Mike Simeon is keeping a watching brief in fifth. Ben Tenzike is still sixth. 8. Gary Lennon is 9, still holding off Yari Minari. And I don't consider that over yet either. Christopher Larson is 11, and the last unlapped driver. 1 lap down, Mark A. Wilmington, who successfully beat Adam Shaw. He chucked it off. Evo Simons is in 14, and he's got Adam Shaw in his sights, so that could be a rekindling of a battle there. Philip Antonio is in 15, and he's dropped back a little bit during all this letting people through to lap each other. Malarkey. Sylvian Muirlord is 16, and he doesn't look like he's going to be getting the points that will keep him in 10th position in the championship. Neil Galt is 17, also a lap down. 2 laps down with Guido Rosa, coming in for a pit stop. Dan Higgins is 2 laps down as well. Bolgen is 3 laps down in 20th. Michael Hart-Jones still going on with 7 laps adrift in 21st after a multitude of offs and derays. And James Johnson on the grass down the back straight in 3rd position. That car, not just looking laggy, it's also looking a little bit leery now. Just got to be careful with everyone. There isn't trouble ahead for James Johnson, just this close to home. Rather disappointingly, I don't think anyone's won my Switcheroo of the Race award, because I've not spotted one, but if anyone has spotted one, please feel free to correct me. However, there is currently, I'm not going to curse him, actually I will, let's just see if I can curse him. Gregory de Grief is definitely driving today with what has been an absolutely spectacular display of precision driving. Just looking through his lap charts, and apart from when he's lapped people, Gary Lennon and Yari Binari on the build scrap still over 9th. His lap charts show that he's just within half a second of his fastest lap time on almost every single lap as he starts his second last lap of the race, 40-42. Ben Crooks looks like he's holding off James Johnson, but James Johnson has now got to worry about teammate Carasola. Orders come into play in Carasola play bridesmaid. Feel free to have a go at James Johnson. It's looking ragged enough to be giving it a go. Everyone must be quite surprised that their tyres are still holding on this far into the race. A lot of people were really worried that the tyres would not last, and therefore there will be trouble ahead. But obviously not. De Grief serenely on his way up front. 12.5 seconds clear of Crooks. If Carasola wants to show his intent, this would be a good time to be doing it as we come in to start the final lap. And, James Johnson's looks like he's going to be holding on to the position and just keeping himself a good couple of tenths clear of Carasola, so there's no point in him doing a quick lunge. Simeon is well clear of Tenzike because they've got Adam Shaw between the pair of them, so that looks sorted. The only battle really out on track that could still be resolved is the Lennon vs Binari. Gary Lennon has held it all race so far, and Binari has only got 1 lap to go for it, and it would be a shame to do a last minute dive in the very final lap. But down the hill comes Gregory de Grief. He led from the start, he led from pole, he was top in practice, top in warm-up, and now he is top of the race. Gregory de Grief wins the race department round 2 at Wanneroo. And that is a man who is absolutely devastated the opposition. Lights the flag victory, fastest lap, absolute dream line of everything, to be quite frank. Gregory de Grief is your man of the race. Hats off. Second position, Ben Crooks. Held on to de Grief for so long, then an error later on where tyres were failing sent him back off the rear end of De Grief and into the clutches of third place man James Johnson, who did hold on by a whole 3/10 of a second from Hannu Carisola, who plays bridesmaid in fourth. Mike Simeon does some fantastic overtaking to claim fifth, with Ben Budenzijk playing Mr. Defensive, still holding on around sixth. Yael Barbosa grabbed 7 after some gutsy manoeuvres. Ryan Callan started 8th, stayed 8th, and had a pretty trouble-free race actually, to be honest. Gary Lennon held on for 9, just under 2/10 of a second from Jari Benari. That was a great scrap between the pair of them. Real respectful racing. And poor Christopher Larson must have wondered if there's any other cars out on track, because he spent the entire race on his own in 11th. 1 lap down, Mark A. Warmington won Best of the Rest award at 12th. Adam Shaw was 13th, could have had 12th, probably had his off-track excursion. Evo Simons made up quite a few places actually to grab 14th, because he was locked down the order at the end of lap 1. Philip Antonia had an eventful afternoon but eventually found himself 15th. Sylvain Meerlord had an off-track excursion very early on, which dropped him to last but 1, and he made himself back up to 16. 2 laps down, Neil Galt after several mini excursions. Guido Rosen must have had an excursion followed by a pit stop to be 2 laps down, 18. Dan Higgins was 19, also 2 laps down. Martin Bolgen 23 laps down. Those two had that massive collision which took out Kevin Clark. And last but not least, Michael Hart-Jones, 7 laps down for 21st position and still a mighty fine finish. There's your running positions and orders. So, I hope you did enjoy that event. I'll just hold on for a couple of seconds just to see if any drivers will pop into the commentary booth to say their celebrations or commiserations to each other. However, the next race will be at Surfers Paradise on the 24th. Everyone's welcome. Bring a friend or a beer. Better still bring both. And I think we will be treated to a great Wednesday night of entertaining action here on PSR TV, courtesy of Race Department. I'd like to thank our cameraman, Jose Estrada, Mr. Extraordinaire, a man with many hands and many talents, ones of which not all of his girlfriends can tell you about. However, Race Department knows them all very well, and we'd like to say thank you very much to him. And we are joined in the broadcasting booth by Michael Hart-Jones. I hope you're there, Michael. Hello.
Good evening, Simon.
Hello. Congratulations on a very gutsy performance to finish there, albeit 7 laps adrift. Talk us through your race, because you look like you had an eventful one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bad setup early on in the race, and I noticed the rear tyres were getting a little bit with the higher downforce I put on. So a quick pit stop around lap 20, dropped the rear downforce down. It seemed to help a little bit, but it's still, I was just struggling a little bit with the tyre temperatures on the rear.
That's a shame actually, because you dropped a lot of your laps actually in the opening few laps, and then afterwards you seem to have much better pace. So looking forward to the future races for, Surfers Paradise comes up next week, and then Orion Park and so on. Are there any particular circuits where you think you might particularly shine on?
Yeah, definitely looking forward to these future races. Hopefully I can do a bit better than the last 2 races have been.
Well, we wish you the very, very best of luck.
And thank you very much.
Well, hey, and thank you very much for joining us in the commentary booth. That's the first Race Department. A round of applause from me.
Thank you.
Okay, that was Michael Hart-Jones there. He finished in a very worthy 21st position. And we should just wait for another couple of seconds to see if anyone else joins us. It's looking suspiciously empty. So I think I might sign you off with a goodbye and a warning that if you do know any more of Jose Estrada's skills with hands, there is an email address for that, and probably a pay site too. Thank you very much for everyone. You've been watching Race Department on... sorry, what was that, Jose?
Yes, I was telling it's nothing compared. My skills with hands are nothing compared with your skills with dunk. So
enough said, the better. Well, all I can say is all these V8 races are down under.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much, Simon, for well, dedicate your life to commenting in race department.
I'm very, very pleased and very privileged to be here. Thank you, everyone, for having me. But we should see everyone again probably next week at Surfers Paradise, providing we've got a broadcast where myself and Jose and everyone that wants to play Racy Poos can come out and have a good time. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.